Hey everyone, Elizabeth here. The last laugh delivers stories that leave you speechless. If you're here for it, hit subscribe and let's go. The papers appeared on Sunday dinner's dessert course, right between the apple pie and my mother's passive-aggressive comments about my lifestyle choices. Sophia. My father's voice had that tone, the one that meant he'd made a decision and expected compliance. We need to discuss something important. I set down my fork. Across the table, my brother Daniel was staring at his plate with unusual intensity. His wife Ashley looked smug. Never a good sign. Your mother and I have been thinking, Dad continued, sliding a manila folder across the table. About fairness. About family. About making sure everyone is taken care of. I didn't touch the folder. Daniel and Ashley are expecting their second child, Mom added, her voice bright. The apartment is getting too small. They need more space. A real home. Congratulations, I said to Daniel, who still wouldn't meet my eyes. That's wonderful news. It is wonderful, Dad said. Which is why we're asking you to do the right thing. He opened the folder. Inside were property transfer documents, all neatly printed and tabbed with little arrows showing where to sign. This is your house, I said slowly. Yes and no, Dad replied. Technically, it's in your name. But we paid for it. We've always thought of it as a family property. The beautiful 3-bedroom Craftsman in the best neighborhood downtown. The house I'd lived in for 6 years. The house that was, according to these papers, about to become Daniel's. Let me make sure I understand, I said carefully. You want me to sign my house over to Daniel? My house? It makes sense, honey. Mom reached over to pat my hand. You don't need all that space. You're single. No kids. You travel for work constantly. Daniel has a growing family. They need the room, the yard, the good school district. I live there. Barely. Ashley finally spoke, her voice sharp. You're gone half the time for work. It's wasteful for one person to have a 3-bedroom house when we re-cramped in a 2-bedroom apartment with a baby and another one coming. You could get a nice condo, Mom suggested. Something low maintenance. Perfect for your lifestyle. My lifestyle. The way she said it made it sound like a character flaw. I was 34, unmarried, child-free, and devoted to my career as a senior consultant for a major firm. I made $195,000 a year. I traveled, yes, but I loved my home. It was my sanctuary. And if I say no? I asked. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Dad's voice went hard. This house was a gift. We paid the down payment. We paid for the renovations. We furnished it. For 6 years, you've been living in a house we provided, and we're not asking for much in return. Just that you do right by your brother. You put it in my name. As a placeholder. For tax purposes. You knew that. I didn't know that. I'd thought, stupidly, naively, that when they put the house in my name 6 years ago, it was because they trusted me. Because they were proud of me. Because they wanted to help their daughter who'd just gotten a major promotion and was finally settling down in one city. We've been more than generous with you, Mom said. Your education, your car when you graduated, this house. Meanwhile, Daniel has gotten nothing comparable. It's not fair. Daniel had gotten a fully paid college education at a private university, the same as me. He'd gotten a car, the same as me. He'd gotten a $50,000 loan from them to start his business, which had failed within 2 years. A loan they'd never asked him to repay. But sure. Nothing comparable. The house is worth about $850,000 now, I said. Market's good, Dad agreed. Daniel's lucky. And you want me to just transfer it to him? For free. It was never really yours, Ashley said. Let's be honest. I looked at Daniel. Is this what you want? He finally met my eyes. Sophia, we're desperate. The baby's coming in 4 months. We can't afford a house in this market. This solves everything. Sophia. By taking mine. It's not really yours, he repeated, echoing Ashley's words. I pulled the folder closer and flipped through the papers. Property transfer documents. Quit claim deed. All very official looking. All with my name as the transferor and Daniel's as the transferee. Who prepared these? I asked. A real estate attorney Ashley's father recommended, Mom said. Very reputable. We just need your signature, and he'll file everything with the county. What's his name? Does it matter? Dad's patience was wearing thin. Sophia, this is family. You're acting like we're trying to steal from you. Aren't you? How dare you? Mom's voice went ice cold. After everything we've done for you. Every advantage we've given you. And this is how you show gratitude. By giving my brother my house. It's not your house. Ashley's voice rose. It was never your house. They bought it. You just live there. My name is on the deed. Because they put it there. God, you're so selfish. We have children. Actual children who need a home. What do you have? Your precious career? Your business trips? Your empty house? The word stung, but I kept my face neutral. I need to think about this, I said. There's nothing to think about, Dad said. This is family taking care of family. Sign the papers, Sophia. I need to talk to a lawyer. You don't trust us? Mom looked wounded. Your own parents? I want to understand what I'm signing. What you're signing is a simple property transfer, Dad said. Nothing complicated. We're not asking you to pay anything or lose anything. Just transfer property that's rightfully Daniel's anyway. I stood up. I need some time. Time for what? Ashley stood too. Time to figure out how to screw over your own family? Typical Sophia. Always thinking about yourself. Ashley, Daniel said weakly, but he didn't defend me. I'll give you my answer in 3 days, I said. 3 days? Mom's voice went shrill. Sophia, they need to know now. They're looking at moving trucks, planning the transition. You were that confident I'd say yes? Of course we were, Dad said. You're our daughter. We raised you right. We knew you'd do the right thing. I picked up my purse. 3 days. If you walk out that door without signing, don't bother coming back, Dad said. I stopped. Turned. Excuse me? You heard me. Family is everything, Sophia. If you can't understand that, if you can't sacrifice this one thing for your brother, then maybe you're not the daughter we thought we raised. Mom was crying now. Please, honey. Don't tear this family apart over a house. I was tearing the family apart. Not them demanding I give up my home. Me, for hesitating. 3 days, I repeated, and walked out. The next morning, I called a real estate attorney. Not the one Ashley's father had recommended. My own. Patricia Moore had handled my will and some contract reviews over the years. She was sharp, no nonsense, and expensive. Worth every penny. Sophia, good to hear from you. What can I do for you? I explained the situation. The house, my parents' down payment, the transfer documents, the family pressure. She was quiet for a long moment after I finished. Send me everything, she said finally. The original deed, any documentation of the purchase, these transfer papers they want you to sign. Everything. Is this legal? Can they do this? Send me the documents. I'll call you back. I spent the day scanning and emailing. The original deed from 6 years ago. The mortgage documents, which showed the down payment coming from my parents' account but the mortgage in my name only. The renovation receipts. The transfer papers. Patricia called back at 4 p.m. Sophia, who's on the mortgage? Just me. My name, my credit, my responsibility. And who's been making the payments for 6 years? I have. Every month. $3,200 automatically from my account. So you've paid. I heard her typing. Approximately $230,400 over 6 years, not counting the equity you've built. The house has appreciated from $650,000 to $850,000. You've paid down the principal by about $47,000. So you have roughly $247,000 in equity, plus the appreciation value. My parents paid the down payment. $130,000. As a gift? I thought so. They never asked for it back. It was never structured as a loan. Then it's a gift. The house is legally yours, Sophia. Your name on the deed, your mortgage, your payments, your equity. These transfer documents your parents want you to sign would essentially gift Daniel a property worth $850,000 that you've paid nearly $250,000 for. My head was spinning. They said it was always meant for family. That my name was just for tax purposes. Did they put that in writing? No. Then it's your house. Period. Don't sign those papers. What if I already did? Silence. Sophia, did you sign them? Not yet. But what if they don't accept no for an answer? Then you tell them your attorney advised against it. Which I am officially doing right now. Do not sign those documents. They're giving away your primary asset, your home, and approximately $247,000 in equity you've built. That's financial suicide. But they did pay the down payment. As a gift, Patricia said firmly. If they wanted it structured as a loan, they should have documented it as such. They didn't. The house is yours. These papers they're trying to make you sign? They're hoping you don't know your rights. Don't sign them. I thanked her and hung up. Then I stared at the transfer documents on my coffee table for a long time. My phone rang constantly. Mom, Dad, Daniel, Ashley. I didn't answer. Texts flooded in. Mom, please call us. We're worried about you. Dad, don't let pride ruin this family. Ashley, you have 48 hours to do the right thing. Daniel, Sophia, please. We're desperate here. I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb and went to bed. Wednesday night, day 3, I showed up at my parents' house for dinner. They were expecting me to either sign or refuse. I could see it in their faces when they opened the door. The tension. The anticipation. Daniel and Ashley were already there, sitting on the couch, looking anxious. "Sophia," Mom said. "Come in. Have you made a decision?" I walked to the dining table where the transfer documents still sat in their folder. "I have." Everyone went still. I picked up the pen and signed every page where the little arrows indicated. Mom gasped. "Oh, honey. You did the right thing." Dad actually smiled. "I knew you'd come around. Family first." Ashley was grinning. Daniel looked relieved but couldn't quite meet my eyes. "There," I said, setting down the pen. "All signed." "This is wonderful," Mom gushed. "Daniel, isn't this wonderful?" "Yeah. Thanks, Sophia. Really. You have no idea what this means." I pulled out my phone. "Just one thing. I need to make a quick call." "Now?" Dad frowned. "It'll just take a second." I dialed Patricia Moore's number. She answered on the second ring. We'd planned this call. "Patricia, it's Sophia Chen. I'm at my parents' house with my family, and I wanted to let you know I signed the transfer documents they prepared." "You what?" Her voice was perfectly pitched, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear through the phone speaker, which I'd turned on. Everyone froze. "The property transfer documents for my house. The ones you reviewed." "Sophia, I specifically told you not to sign those. Let me be very clear for anyone listening, those documents are void." "Void?" Dad's face was reddening. "Yes, void. I ran a complete title search this morning. Sophia Chen is the sole legal owner of the property at 847 Riverside Drive. The deed is in her name exclusively. She holds the mortgage exclusively. She has paid said mortgage for 6 years, $230, $400 in payments plus $47,000 in principal reduction. The property has appreciated $200,000 during her ownership. She has approximately $247,000 in equity built in this property." Ashley's mouth was open. Daniel had gone pale. "Any transfer of this property requires proper legal documentation, full disclosure of equity interests, and typically involves financial consideration. These documents," Patricia's voice dripped with professional disdain, "appear to be an attempt to convince Ms. Chen to gift away a property worth $850,000 and her $247,000 in equity for zero compensation. We paid the down payment." Dad said loudly. "Was that structured as a loan, sir?" "It was a family investment." "Was there a promissory note? A loan agreement? Any legal documentation?" Silence. "Then it was a gift. And Ms. Chen has built substantial equity in this property over 6 years. These transfer documents are void. If filed with the county, I'll immediately file to have them overturned and will pursue legal action against whoever prepared them for attempting to defraud my client." Defraud? Mom's voice was faint. "Yes. Attempting to convince someone to sign away $247,000 in equity and an $850,000 asset without proper disclosure or compensation is fraud. Ms. Chen, I'm advising you to tear up those documents immediately." I picked up the papers and slowly ripped them in half. Then in quarters. Then into small pieces that fluttered onto my parents' dining table like confetti. "Done," I said. "Good. And to everyone in that room, if you attempt to file those documents, forge Ms. Chen's signature on new ones, or continue to pressure her to transfer her legal property, I will pursue harassment charges and civil litigation. Ms. Chen has rights. She has equity. She has ownership. Do I make myself clear?" No one spoke. "Do I make myself clear?" Patricia repeated, her voice sharp. "Yes," I said. "Crystal clear. Thank you, Patricia." I hung up. The silence in the room was deafening. "You?" Dad's face had gone from red to purple. "You brought a lawyer into this?" "You brought a lawyer into this," I corrected. "Ashley's father's reputable attorney who drew up fraudulent documents." "They're not fraudulent." Ashley shrieked. "You owe us that house." "I owe you nothing. I've paid $230,400 in mortgage payments. I've built $247,000 in equity. The house is worth $850,000. You want me to give that to Daniel for free? We gave you the down payment." Mom's voice was high and strained. "As a gift." Patricia confirmed it. "No loan documentation, no promissory note, no repayment terms. A gift." "It was understood," Dad started. "Nothing was understood. You put the house in my name. I paid the mortgage. For 6 years. Every month. $3,200. That's my house. After everything we've done for you," Mom whispered. "You mean the college education you also gave Daniel? The car you also gave Daniel? The $50,000 business loan you gave Daniel that he never repaid? What exactly have you done for me that you haven't done for him?" "We gave you opportunities," Dad said. "And I took them and built a career. I make $195,000 a year. I paid my own way after college. I paid for my own life. And I paid for my own house for 6 years. That you now want me to give to Daniel because he can't afford one himself. He has children. Ashley was crying now. Children need a home. Then buy them one. Or rent a bigger apartment. Or move to a cheaper area. Those are your options. My house is not on that list. How can you be so selfish? Mom was crying too now. Your own brother. Your own family. How can you be so selfish? I shot back. Asking me to give up $247,000 in equity and a home I've loved and paid for because Daniel made different choices? Different choices? Daniel finally found his voice. I have a family. And I have a home. That I paid for. That's legally mine. That's worth nearly $1 million. You want me to just hand that over? We thought you'd understand, Dad said, his voice dangerous now. We thought you'd put family first. Family goes both ways. When did any of you put me first? When did any of you ask what I wanted? You decided Daniel needed my house, drew up papers, and expected me to sign without question. Because we're your parents. Mom shouted. We know what's best. What's best is that I keep the house I've paid for, lived in, and loved for 6 years. What's best is Daniel and Ashley figure out their own housing situation like adults. What's best is you stop treating me like my assets are family property. Get out, Dad said. Excuse me? Get out. If you're going to choose a house over your family, get out of this house right now. Gladly. I grabbed my purse and headed for the door. Don't come back, Dad called after me. You're not welcome here until you sign those papers. I turned in the doorway. Those papers are shredded and void. There's nothing to sign. And if you try this again, Patricia will file charges. You'd sue your own parents? Mom looked horrified. You tried to steal my house. So yeah, I'd sue. I walked out. Behind me, I heard Ashley sobbing, Daniel arguing, my parents shouting. I got in my car and drove back to my house. My house. That I'd paid for. That was legally mine. That no one was taking from me. The next 3 weeks were radio silence. No calls, no texts, no contact. Then my Aunt Carol called. Sophia? It's Aunt Carol. I just heard what happened. Did they tell you their version? Your mother did. Then I called Daniel. Then I called a real estate attorney friend to ask some questions. She paused. Honey, you did the right thing. I nearly cried with relief. You think so? I know so. They paid a $130,000 down payment 6 years ago. You've paid $230,400 in mortgage payments plus built equity. The house appreciated under your ownership. It's your house. Asking you to give it away was unconscionable. They said family should help family. Family should. But they helped both you and Daniel with down payments of college, cars, and opportunities. You built on those opportunities. Daniel didn't. That's not your responsibility to fix. They won't speak to me. Give them time. They're embarrassed. Your mother told half the family Daniel was getting that house. Now she has to explain why he's not. They look bad, and they know it. What about Daniel? Daniel's a grown man who needs to solve his own housing situation. Not take his sister's house. Over the next month, more family members reached out. Some supported me. Some thought I was selfish. The split was about 60-40 in my favor. My parents didn't call. Daniel sent one text, thanks for nothing. Hope you're happy alone in that big empty house. I was happy. Not about the family rift. But about keeping my home. 8 weeks after the dinner, my mother finally called. Sophia. Mom. Silence. Your father wants me to apologize. Does he apologize? He's working on it. What about you? I think we could have handled it better. Could have? She sighed. We were wrong. We thought you'd just give it to them. We thought you didn't need it as much. I've been paying for it for 6 years, Mom. I know. We didn't think about that part. We just saw the down payment and thought that it was yours. Yes. It wasn't. It was a gift. And I built equity. Substantial equity. I know that now. Your Aunt Carol explained it. At length. Good for Aunt Carol. Daniel and Ashley found a rental, Mom continued. 3 bedrooms. Not in the best area, but it's affordable. The baby's due in 6 weeks. Mom. That's good. I'm glad they found something. Are you? Yes. I never wanted them to be homeless. I just wanted to keep my house. Do you think? She paused. Do you think you could come to Sunday dinner again? Will Dad demand I sign over my car this time? Sophia. I'm serious. If this is going to happen every time Daniel needs something, it won't. I promise. We understand now. The house is yours. We won't ask again. What changed? Aunt Carol. Your Uncle Robert. Several other family members. They all explained that what we asked was unreasonable. And your father and we realized we took you for granted. We thought you'd always just help because you're successful and Daniel struggles. But that's not fair. It wasn't. But I appreciated her saying it. I'll think about Sunday dinner, I said. That's all I'm asking. She hung up. 2 weeks later, I went to Sunday dinner. Dad was stiff but cordial. Daniel and Ashley weren't there, probably for the best. It wasn't fixed. Not by a long shot. But it was a start. That was 4 months ago. Daniel's baby was born, a healthy girl. I sent a gift. I haven't visited. My parents and I have dinner once a month now. We don't talk about the house. We don't talk about Daniel's rental situation. We keep it light. But the trust is broken. Maybe permanently. Because here's what I learned, family will take everything you'll give them. And then they'll ask for more. And if you say no, they'll call you selfish. But boundaries aren't selfish. They're survival. I paid $230,400 for my house over 6 years. I built $247,000 in equity. I made it a home. And when my family asked me to give it all away, I said no. Not because I don't love them. But because I love myself enough not to be walked on. My house is mine. My equity is mine. My life is mine. And no one, not even family, gets to take that from me. Have you ever had family ask for something unreasonable? How did you set boundaries? Share your story below.